Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Willie B Drinks Beers, and today I'm going to try an English style of beer. So that's where I'm from if you haven't been tracking, but this is an extra special bitter. So a very classic English style. Often like you'll hear people talking about drinking at room temperature. And yeah, it's true. We kind of do drink at room temperature. I guess maybe it's like, I don't know, mid 60s degrees in a sweaty London bar where you would most likely be drinking one of these, or some kind of village pub that you might find yourself in the UK. I have actually had this beer before, but I haven't had it in the can. It's a brewery in Denver, Colorado, and it's probably, I think it's about a half an hour drive from where I am. Obviously, I always, every single time, need to tell you how long it takes to drive there, because in America, that's what you do. You drive everywhere, you know? There's no train beers, or at least, like, I don't know, you have to be in the right place, you know, Chicago, New York, who knows? But this is called chinwag. A chinwag basically means like a kind of a chat with someone, a conversation. So you could say, "Oh, my old mate, we had a good old chinwag. Oh yeah." So yeah, because we make strange noises like that in the UK. Anyway, chinwag, that's what it means. I don't personally use the expression, but maybe some people in the UK do use that expression. I have heard it, but not very often. That's the fun thing about living abroad, is you get to experience how other countries portray you, which may be based on some stereotypes or other random information or encounters that they had while abroad. So yeah, it's all great fun. I am very much in favor of the transatlantic exchange of ideas and information. So it says that it's Denver's premier extra special bitter. Well, I'd be keen to actually find out how many extra special bitters are actually produced in Denver. Not to to knock Hogshead Brewery, but at the same time, like, it's not really that big a claim, because it's not a very common type of beer to be brewed in Denver or the United States as a whole, really. What else do I have to say? Well, there is a Hogshead at the back, so that's kind of cool. I guess they picked the name because they thought the Hogshead sounds like a good old English pub name, and I don't think they'd be wrong. I think it sounds like a fine British pub name. And I'm gonna crack this open. It feels like it's pretty full, so might be a bit of an overfill here. I bought it at Trader Joe's down in Littleton, for any of you who are interested to know. Trader Joe's, for those of you who don't know, is a great grocery store. But I really like it, at least. Oh, no overfill. It's actually perfectly filled, and as I'd expect from an English bitter, it's not a highly effervescent beer. It's not going insane in terms of the gas that's released. That's kind of typical of the style. But I also have a pint glass. Now, a British pint is 568 milliliters, whereas an American pint is 473 milliliters. And that makes a difference, because the other thing is British beers tend to be lower on ABV. So this one is actually on the higher end of it. If you said what would an extra special bitter be, I'd say around 5%. This is 5.8%, so this is on the stronger end. I'm not saying that you can't have beers that are that strong within this category, this style of beer, but definitely this is on the higher end. But yeah, let's see how it pours. So, as you can see, kind of golden brown caramel color. It's kind of mildly, well, vaguely translucent. It's got a good head. It's like kind of foamy, creamy, rather than airy, I would say. And the color looks spot on. Really, with this style of beer, that it's kind of what people would say is malt forward. It kind of leads in flavor with the malts. The hops take a little bit of a back seat. You're kind of going to get hops that that resemble an English country garden. Very herbaceous, quite a bit of bitterness, not too intense on the bitterness, but at the same time it does call itself an extra special bitter, so bitterness is important in this style of beer. I wouldn't say it's as harsh as a West Coast style IPA, but it's definitely up there in terms of bitterness. I also have a 1 US pint, so this won't completely fit in the glass once the head has dissipated. There we go. Just give it a nice swirly pour. Again, the colour's it's kind of a golden brown, yeah, I would say. And when I smell it, it smells kind of sweet, actually. I'm getting a lot of caramelized malt flavor. It doesn't say at all what hops or malt might be in this, but I mean, the classic kind of English hops are like Fuggles or I think Golding's another one, and then maybe some Maris Otter or Two Row malt, kind of like not super light malt, but at the same time not really dark roasted malt. But this is a great, great beer that you might drink in an English pub. It's just a perfect style to sup on. You can have a few of these while watching the rugby or the football / soccer, whatever you want to call it, or the cricket if you really do like that sport. It's not for me, but if you like it, then fair play. But cheers! I'm gonna have a sample. Oh, you know what? I looked at my Untappd rating on this, and I think I'd given it something like a 4 out of 5, which for me is like, oh, it's really solid. Like, it's a really good, solid beer. Tasting this now, I'm like transported back to the UK. This really is a great beer. I think Hogshead, really might have cracked the idea of bringing British beer to the American market. It's tasty. It's not too sweet. It's not too bitter. It's really perfectly balanced. And one of the most difficult things actually to get right in beer is balance, because it's kind of easy in some ways to just go all out on, right, we're going to have the most bitter flavor ever, we're gonna have the sweetest beer ever, we're gonna have the most hoppy, intense beer ever, but really having like balance and nuance in beer is actually quite tricky to achieve, and I know this because I have brewed probably about 6 or 7 times, and just from that small sample, I can tell it's difficult. And the fact that I'm also a consumer of beer, I've tried quite a few beers in my time. I really have found that it isn't every day that you find a well-balanced beer. So do you know what? This is amazing. This is a home comfort, brewed right in Denver, and it's cool. Like I didn't want to kind of throw out compliments where they're not due, or get overly excited about being able to try something I haven't had in a while. But honestly, like, this beer is great, and I would be super excited to try it on cask. I think last time I did have it on cask, but I would like to try it again. I would definitely drive up there. This is a great beer. Wow. It's just, honestly, it's like, this is great. Like, I would, honestly, like, if my dad was here right now, and he was blindfolded, and he'd come all the way from England, but he didn't know that he would come from England, and then I opened his eyes, took off the blindfold, and we'd recreated some kind of English pub, but we were in Denver, and I gave him a pint of this chinwag. I honestly think he'd seriously be impressed. So cheers to my dad, God save the Queen, and here's another episode in the books of Willie B Drinks Beer. Cheers.